Hello everybody, it's almost time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. And Franklin, don't step in the mud. Michael Haynes. Oh, Franklin, that reminds me of the quote by the great philosopher M. Jagger, who said, "Go ahead, bite the big apple, don't mind the maggots." And we've got Mookie on the table. He'll probably attack something here in a moment. He's a kook. Well, we're a little early, so let's take a look. He's right there by my fielding charts. Now he's going to kick. Oh, I knew he'd do something. There goes the whiteout. There almost goes the mouse. Okay. That's enough out of you. Go ahead and get down now. Get down. Okay, let's get this. What the hell have I done here now? Okay. That's about where I had it. Holy crap. All right. Okay, I better get that white out because you guys know me. I'll need it. Hello, Mike and Bill. Welcome. It's a Monday. And we're going to wrap up Sunday, May the 29th on the schedule today with Boston at Washington. The third of a three-game series. It's the rubber game. These two teams split the first two. Jerry Stevenson pitching for the Red Sox. Phil Ortega for Washington, and looking at the real life numbers there, Ortega easily with a much better year. However, in the results so far, not that far apart really. Let's look at him now. Stevenson 1-5 with a 4.71. He's made 9 starts. He actually has a complete game. And for Ortega, 1-3, 4.23. This will be his 9th start. He has 1 complete game. It was a shutout. No, I know you were, Franklin, I know. For some reason, that just reminded me of the line from the song Shattered. Right? And I see the Rolling Stones picked up a Grammy last night. I don't watch it. I don't follow the Grammys anymore. Most of that stuff that they call music on there these days doesn't appeal to me at all. But the Stones and the Beatles each picked up a Grammy. Wow. Am I in the right year? Did I wake up and did I fall asleep in a time machine and wake up 40 years ago? 50 years ago? Welcome to Kelly and also Cleveland. So I'm pleased to announce I got my new reading glasses today. They're 2-stage, computer and reading. And they are looking really good. I got to say, I can definitely read the screens much better. They're a little further away, of course, than this. And I have to turn my head up just a little bit to get the perfect focus on the cards, but much better. There you go. Somebody knows it. Bill. All right. Yeah, it was a great album, wasn't it? Or is. I should say is. Not was. It is still a great album, right? What else have I got for you today on a Monday? Oh, yeah, so I call them up. Get this. This is a good story. They said they'd be ready in about 2 weeks, and I was thinking over the weekend, I even mentioned it on one of my streams, that it seems like it's been longer than that to me. So it had been 3 weeks today. I called him up, and he says, oh, yeah, we sent you a text, but for some reason It dropped a digit. We have your text number as 330 and your home number 3301. And I thought about it for a second, and then dryly, with just a hint of sarcasm, I said, yeah, I don't think I would have figured that one out either. Here is the lineup for the Boston Red Sox. On that note, we'll get underway here. Rico Petrocelli leads it off at shortstop. Jim Gosker is in center field. Carl Yastrzemski, of course, hits third and left. George Scott is at first base. Tony Conigliaro. Yeah, I may have to have these lifted. You have to have these classes lifted, but the prescription is good. Tony Conigliaro's in right. Dalton Jones at second base. He bats sixth. Joe Foy at third base. Mike Ryan, the catcher. And Stevenson, the pitcher, rounded out. The Stones were not impressed by the Stones. Wow. Well, to each their own, no judgment. Little surprised maybe, but you know, whatever. My musical taste is pretty far out there and is quite often disagreed with, so I'm used to it. Yeah, Kelly, faraway eyes. So now let's go far away and long ago to Washington, 1966. Phil Ortega has completed his warm-ups. And here's Rico Petrocelli to start us off. Rico at 253, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. Ortega into the windup, and here we go with a 2-8 righty. It's a grounder down to third base, fielded by Savarin, who throws across in time, and that retires Petrocelli. These may take a little getting used to, but wow, much sharper. Much sharper indeed. Well, no, I don't think I would raise them at all. If anything, I might even lower them a tad. Just a matter of getting it where I want it to sit on the bridge of my nose there. Okay, enough of that. Here's Gosker with one away. Jim Gosker just 205 so far. He has 1 home run. The pitch from Ortega. That was 3-7 right-handed. A fly ball to center field. There's Locke backing up a few steps, and he hauls it in. Nice play by Locke. And here's Carl Yastrzemski now. Yaz hitting 262, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. And it's a 110 right-handed, and Yaz promptly bangs a base hit up the middle and into center field. So a 2-out single for Yastrzemski, a star 15 stealer. Let's check the battery now for the Senators. Ortega with a -1 hold. Camille a 0. That would make Yaz a 14, not held. They're going to hold him at 12. And George Scott will be the hitter. He's going to swing away at 255, a team leading 9 home runs. And a team leading 25 RBIs for Scott. Ortega with a 3-5, singles into left field, an open single. Yastrzemski rounding, 14 plus 2 minus 2. Kirkland with a -2 in left, however, makes it 12, and they're going to hold Yastrzemski at second. So Kirkland with a good arm in left, that discourages Yastrzemski from going to third. And with 2 outs, the batter will be Conigliaro. Tony C at 257, 5 homers, 22 RBIs. That's second on the team in the RBI category. Ortega checks the runners. Here's the pitch now on a 2-4 righty. A grounder to second base, fielded by Blassengame. 2-0, and the side is retired. So no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And after half an inning, it's Boston nothing, Washington coming to bat here on a Manic Monday game. Yes, sirree, Jeremiah. Same for me, Franklin. Yeah, other than that, well, I had two that were Christmas presents. I had one I won at a junior high dance contest. And I had another one that I got with paper route money. So I had 4 albums, I think, to my name and a stack of 45s before I went to work at the Alpha Beta at age 15. And then I was rolling in cash, buying records left and right. What years was that, Michael? I'm just curious. I saw the Stones in 1975. It was amazing. Here's the lineup for Washington. Don Blasingame leads off at second base. Bob Savarin is at third base. Jim King in right field. Dick Nen will be in the cleanup spot at first base. It's a day off for Frank Howard, by the way. Don Locke is in center hitting fifth. Willie Kirkland in left. Ed Brinkman, the shortstop. Doug Camilli will be the catcher today at bat 8th. And Ortega, the pitcher, 9th. And here's Jerry Stevenson now. Stevenson's completed his warm-up tosses. And up to the plate comes Don Blasingame. Yes, sirree, I know exactly what you mean, Perry, and welcome. I enjoy that too. And hello, Thomas Barrett. Good crowd on hand for a Monday. Kind of another cool, gloomy Monday. I won't say cold because it's currently 37 in Spokane. Anything above the freezing mark is quite acceptable for this time of year, okay? But a little Strat-O-Matic to warm us up. Blasingame at the plate, hitting .243, does not have a home run. Left-handed hitter. Stevenson into the windup. That's a 6-6 left-handed. And he walks him. A leadoff walk to Blasingame. Yes, Michael, I remember that too. So I take that back. Before I worked at the Alpha Beta, I did manage to scam Columbia Record Club for 10 or 12 albums for a penny or something like that, whatever it was then. Maybe it was a dime. I don't remember. Next to nothing, basically. Here's Savarin now. Bob Savarin at .274 so far. 2 homers, 9 RBIs. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Stevenson now working from the stretch. Comes in there with a 3-7 right-handed. It's called strike 3. Home plate umpire Ed Runge rings him up. And with 1 out, the batter will be King. Well, you had to buy it like so many more over the next 2 years or something like that at their ridiculous marked up prices. To answer your question, Joel, and welcome Tahoe Joel, by the way. And so they'd make it up that way. However, I figured out a loophole in their system when I was, 14 or 15, is that if you were a minor, you could simply renege on buying the remainder of the full-priced albums you were obligated to buy because you were not legally bound to sign any contract in the first place, so they had no recourse if you were under 18. Dishonest? Well, yes. I mean, it is. I admit it. But when you're a kid, I mean, come on. What can I say? Here's Jim King. He's hitting .250 and 80 at-bats, however. He has 8 home runs, and he leads the club in RBIs with 21. Stevenson from the stretch. He comes in there with a 2-6 right-handed, and King with a base hit up the middle. Blasingame rounds to center, 13. Locke -2 makes it 11. They're going to hold him. First and second for the Senators, 1 down. And here's Dick Nen now. Let's try to find Nen's stats here. Oh my goodness, he's way down there. 19 for 95 and even 200. 2 homers, 11 RBIs. So Nen trying to get untracked. Pretty good looking card against righties. Good twos column anyway. Stevenson from the stretch. 2-9, and he connects. It's a high fly ball to right field. Back goes Canigliaro. It's over his head. That's going to be extra bases. That's going to score Blasingame. King rounding. He's a 12. Canigliaro a 0. They're going to hold him at third. So that'll be an RBI double for Dick Nen. As if on cue, he hits that twos column. I did BMG too. No, wait a minute. It wasn't BMG. It was Record Club of America. Columbia and Record Club of America. The Senators take a 1-0 early lead here on the Nen double, and the batter will be Locke. Early in the game, let's roll for Innerback. And Boston will pull the infield in for Don Locke. Locke at 203, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Another player off to a very slow start this season. Stevenson looks at the runners. Pitch to Locke on a 6-10 right-handed. It's a shallow fly to center. On comes Gosker, still coming. He makes the catch, and the runner cannot tag. Too shallow for King to try to score. So that's a big second out for Stevenson, and that brings up Kirkland. Let's find Kirkland here. Oh my God, he's even worse. Kirkland hasn't played much, though. He's just 3 for 17. It's a 176 average. One of those 3 hits a home run, however. And you can see he's got a little pop in that ones column. So infield moves back. Stevenson the windup, and on a 4-9 lefty, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Stevenson gets out of that pretty cheaply. Red Sox get a run on 2 hits and leave a pair in scoring position. Sorry, the Senators, what am I saying, the Red Sox? The Senators get a run on 2 hits and leave 2 runners in scoring position, and after an inning of play, it's 1-0 Washington. I got to catch up on this chat now. I still have some of that original shipment too, Perry. That's where I got into Jethro Tull. It's an interesting story because it was 12 albums. Or was it 10? Anyway, I had all but one picked out, and I didn't know what to pick for the last one. I just happened to like the cover. I thought that's an interesting looking cover on the Benefit album, so I threw that one in there on a lark. Who would have known? And they were to become my favorite band. But in that group was Santana, Abraxas, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3, Jimi Hendrix, Cry of Love, James Gang, Third, Sly and the Family Stone, Greatest Hits. I can't remember the other ones. It might come to me later. But those are some that come to mind, and some of them are still in my collection. And I love Michael's story about the shyster lawyer. How many saw the movie The Rainmaker? All the lawyer jokes in that were frickin' great, weren't they? The Senators, Bill with the answer, of course. Oh, Janis Joplin's Pearl was in that group too. 1924 with the Senators, and then they didn't win again until the recent Texas Ranger, right? Would that be correct? I think it is. 2 years ago, yeah. If I missed one in between there, please shout it out. Or the Washington Expos. It'll be Dalton Jones to lead off the second here. Jones hitting .254, 1 homer, 3 RBIs, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch from Ortega now. It's going to be a .311 right-handed. Foul ball right side over by the stands is Nen. And he puts it away for the first out. Here's Joe Foy now. Foy leading the club in hitting, .297 for Foy, 7 home runs, 15 RBIs. So Foy having a pretty good season so far. Ortega, the right-hander, .39, grounder down to third base. Savarin is there, throws across to Nen, and quickly there's 2 down. I should say a very good season for Foy. And here's the catcher now, Mike Ryan. Ryan, a defense-first catcher, hitting just .165. The pitch from Ortega, 6'4" righty, is a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be steady Eddie Brinkman, 2E29 as he goes into the hole. Here's the play on an 8. That'll be the error age. An E29 with a 7. That could be trouble, and it is. It's off his glove for an error. First error of the ball game is committed by Ed Brinkman. Ryan, no threat to run, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Stevenson, a right-handed pitcher, but he bats left. 1W. Here's the pitch on a 1-6, struck him out. And that'll do it for Boston in the second. Two hits apiece, 1-0 Senators. Walter Johnson. Yeah, there you go. '24 was the original Senators. It became the Twins. It was the second incarnation of the Senators that became the Texas Rangers. Okay, that's absolutely right. My bad. Twins, I think, was 86. And then again in 91, I want to say. Mike confirms that, yes, that was the second incarnation of the Senators. So they've had 3 chances, and a lot of cities have had none. Just an observation. I mean, I don't mean it to mean anything by that, but '87. Thank you, Bill. Excellent. Of course, '86 was the Mets. Yeah, if I'd have thought about that for more than a second. That was another good year for me betting-wise. I made a bundle on the Red Sox and then on the Mets. The same guy that lost to me on the Red Sox wanted to double up on the series. Sometimes you just get lucky. I just read Franklin's comment. Sounds like a job for one of those shyster lawyers that one guy grew up with. if he's still alive. Oh, here's Brinkman now to lead it off here in the bottom of the second. Brinkman at 265, 2 homers, 17 RBIs. Stevenson with the windup, 2-6 righty, a ground ball into the hole at short. Petrocelli is there, the long throw across, he's out. So Brinkman grounds out to his opposite number, and here's the catcher, Doug Camilli. Camilli just 8 for 40, that's 200. He does have 1 home run. Stevenson with the windup, that's going to be a 4-9 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Jerry Stevenson. And here is Ortega, right-handed batter. 1-7 right-handed, struck him out. So 4 Ks for Stevenson in the first 2 innings. 1, 2, 3 go the Senators. And after 2, it's 1-0. I don't blame you, Perry. Weren't they favored that year? If I had to guess, I would think so. I mean, favored in the series with the Twins, of course. The Twins beat St. Louis, I want to say. I believe they were also favored. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Bill. I was just looking at some seasons last night, thinking about a future project, looking for close races, and that 87 East certainly jumped out at me. We move along to the third in this one. Here's Petrocelli, top of the order. Rico 0 for 1. Ortega into the windup. That's a 2-7 right-handed. It's a double to 10, and he just misses it on the 11. Will settle for the long single. So Petrocelli with the leadoff single. -1 battery for Washington. Petrocelli, no threat to steal. Here's Gosker. Ortega from the stretch now. That's going to be a 6-9 left-handed. Triple to 3 on a 15. That's going to hang up in center for Don Locke, who puts it away for out number 1. And here's Yaz now. Yaz singled his first time up. Ortega from the stretch. It's going to be a 6-8 left-handed. That's a pop-up right side. It's Nen. He'll squeeze it for out number 2. And the batter will be George Scott. Scott singled his first time up. Ortega checks the runner. Now to the plate, 210 right-handed. It's a little comebacker to Ortega. Flips to Nen, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Pitchers duel so far. 1-0 Washington. Good memory anyway, Perry. I mean, I would think. I was at a last day loss one year. It was 1980. It was the tiebreaker, Houston at Los Angeles. Dodgers were 3 back. They won 3 straight against the Astros to force the tiebreaker. We drove up to LA that night, stood in line for I don't know how long to get tickets. And they lost that game, but it's one I'll never forget. That's right, Mike, yeah. That always reminds me of the recent commercial, and it's a couple years ago now, actually. The commercial that Buckner did with Mookie Wilson. I don't even remember what the product was that they were advertising. And there's Steve May. Hello, Steve. Bottom of the third, top of the order for Washington. Blasingame walked and came around to score the game's only run so far. Stevenson gets the sign. The pitch is a 2-9 right-handed. It's a ground ball wide to second. Jones is there. Flips to Scott, 1 down. Here's Saverin. Bob struck out his first time. Stevenson into the windup. Here's the pitch now on a 3-10 right-handed. He pops him up. First base, and Scott will take it, 2 down. That brings up King, who singled his first time up. Stevenson retired 7 in a row now. Here's the pitch to King on a 4-8 lefty. He walks him. 2-out walk Jim King. And that'll bring up Nen. Nen drove in the only run with a double. Left-handed batter, Stevenson out of the stretch now. It's a 3-4 righty. Little comebacker to Stevenson. He's got it. Throws over to Scott. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, a man left. 3 innings in the books. And it's a pitcher's duel, 1-0 Washington. Larry Herndon. Yeah, he's in my 1982 replay with the Giants. I just played one of their games the other day. Canigliaro will lead it off for Boston in the 4th. Tony 0 for 1. Ortega gets the sign from Camille. Here's the pitch now to Tony. It's a 3-9 righty. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Ortega. And the batter will be Dalton Jones. Ortega's pitch is a 4-4 lefty. A grounder to third base X. Tough chance for Saverin. Saverin a 4-18. Here's the play. On a 1, he's not going to get that. That's a base hit into left field. Dalton Jones with the 1-out single. No threat to steal. Good runner, though, 1-15. And the batter will be Foy. Ortega out of the stretch now. Checks the runner. Pitch to Foy. That counts. It's out of the dish, but it's a 3-7. 3-7 righty is a walk. For anyone new, my rule is if it's flat on the table, it counts. So on a 3-7, Foy gets the walk, first and second 1 out, and here's the catcher Mike Ryan now. Ryan reached on an error his first time. Ortega into the windup. That's a 1-10 right-handed, a grounder wide to second. Blasingame has it. Throws to Foley, plays to first. As he throws him out, both runners advance on the ground ball C. So second and third 2 outs. Unfortunately for Boston, though, the pitcher is up. Stevenson, not a good hitting pitcher, a left-handed batter. The pitch from Ortega is a 6-8 left-handed. He pops him up right side. Nen calling. That's going to do it. And the Red Sox strand a pair in the 4th. Yeah, didn't they start out 40-11 or 40-10 or something like that? 84 Tigers, of course, I'm talking about. Great write-up about that in the 85 Bill James abstract, if anybody remembers that. I tell you, if I'd have known that stuff at that time, I could have made a bundle that year. Instead, I got my ass kicked in 84 betting on the Cubs. Live and learn, right? Bottom of the fourth, it's Locke, Kirkland, and Brinkman. Ah, yes, the late, great George Carlin. Locke 0 for 1. Stevenson, the windup on the pitch. It's going to be a 1-6 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Yaz starts back. It is gone. Home run Locke. He rolled the 2. On a 1-6 righty, homer to 15. And for Don Locke, that is his 4th home run of the season. That makes it 2-0 Washington. Here's Kirkland now. Kirkland struck out his first time. Stevenson gets the sign. On a 4-6 left-handed, he loses him ball 4. So Stevenson, perhaps a little rattled by the home run, gives up the walk to Kirkland. Stevenson rated just 5 for endurance anyway, so I see they're stirring around a bit in the Boston pen. And they've got Ken Sanders getting loose down there. As Eddie Brinkman comes to bat. Brinkman 0 for 1. Stevenson working from the stretch. That's a 2-3 right-handed, a grounder to first base. Scott has it. He goes down to Petrocelli for 1. Back to first, not in time. That'll be a force. Kirkland forced at second, Brinkman to first. And now we look at that Boston battery and Stevenson with the awful +9 hold. Ryan a 0. Of course, the most it can be at 5, but that still makes Brinkman a 20. And he'll be held on at 18. Thank you, Joel and Perry. I believe the name of the James article was Signature Significance. At a point where stats become really outrageous, such as 35 and 5, they do become significant. So we tend to think, well, it's a long season and whatnot, small sample size. However, when they get extreme enough, you have a case of what James referred to as signature significance. In other words, there was no way in the world that was not an incredible team. They were actually doing even better, Perry. They've slumped off a little bit of late. They were in contention. They come into this game 19 and 20. Doing better than the Red Sox, though, came in at 16 and 23. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's Doug Camilli now. Stevenson out of the stretch. Comes in there with a 5-10 righty. It's a grounder to short. This could be 2. It's Petrocelli over to Jones to Scott. Double play. 6-4-3. Stevenson gets out of the jam, but the Senators get another run on the Locke home run. After 4 innings of play, they lead it 2-0. Which team, Bill? The Senators? This year's Senators? Oh, the 84 Tigers. Well, they were good again in 87. Never as good as 84, no doubt about it. But they were pretty good for a while. We could defer to some of our... We've got a few Tiger fans among the regulars. I'll defer to them. And we go to the 5th inning, top of the order for Boston. They trail by 2. Rico Petrocelli will start it off. He's 1 for 2 today. Ortega into the windup. That's going to be a 3-8 right-handed. A grounder into the hole at short. It's Eddie Brinkman with the stop. Long throw in time. Nice pick there by Brinkman, and the batter is Gosker. Gosker's flown to his opposite number both times. Left-handed hitting center fielder. Ortega's pitch on a 2-9 struck him out. Called strike 3. Runge rings him up. Strikeout number 3 for Phil Ortega, and with 2 down, the batter is Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski 1 for 2 today. Ortega with a 6-6 lefty, a liner right into the glove of Eddie Brinkman. Holy cow. Look out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Ortega. And welcome Sports Time Machine. And now I'm trying to think of your name, and I feel terrible, but I cannot remember it. I thought I had this down by now, damn it. And Bill remembers the article. That's awesome. Mike, thank you. Well, welcome aboard, Mike. There you go. Perry explains it. Much better than I could. Thank you, Perry. Ortega will lead off the bottom of the 5th, the right-handed hitter. Stevenson's pitch is a 6-9, swung on and missed, strike 3. That's 5 Ks for Stevenson, who's in his first endurance inning, by the way. That'll turn the lineup over and bring up Blasingame. 0 for 1 with a walk. Stevenson with a windup. The pitch is a 2-5 righty. It's a little comebacker to Stevenson. He knocks it down, picks it up, flips it over to Scott for the out. And with 2 away, it's Bob Savarin at the plate. 0 for 2 today. Stevenson into the windup. 4-7 left-handed. Single to 6 on a 20. That liner speared by a leaping Dalton Jones at second. 1-2-3 go the Senators in the 5th. We're through 5. It's 2-0 Washington. And you know I know where Gibby went. No doubt about that. Oh my God. Okay, we're moving to the 6th. Boston with just 4 singles so far against Phil Ortega. George Scott, who has 1 of them, will lead it off. Ortega gets the sign from Camille now. Here's the pitch to Scott. It's a 3-7 right-handed fly ball into straightaway center, playable for Locke. And he flags it down for out number 1. Here's Canigliaro. Canigliaro singled and walked so far. Ortega with the pitch. It's a 3-10 right-handed. It's a high fly ball driven to left. Kirkland back, and gone. Tony Canigliaro with a home run makes it 2-1. 3-10, no doubt about it. A clean shot off of Canigliaro's card. Homer number 6 for Tony. And it's 2-1. Now it's getting intense. Here's Dalton Jones, 1 for 2. Ortega with the pitch. That's going to be a 3-4 right-handed, and Jones line drive single into right. He's 2 for 3. No threat to run. That'll bring up Foy. 0 for 1 with a walk. Ortega, throw over to first. Jones back to the bag. Now taking a little modest lead. Ortega out of the stretch. It's a 1-5 right-handed. Single 2 stars. There goes Jones rounding, and he'll steam into third. And Boston now has him cornered with 1 down. Tying run at third. Mike Ryan, a light-hitting catcher at the plate. And the Senators are going to bring the infield in. Ortega rated 7 for endurance, so that's not an issue. Ryan will swing away, and here's the pitch from Ortega on a 3-6. Grounder to the pitcher B with the infield in. He's going to throw home, and they've got Jones. Jones broke too soon. And it's going to be a 1-2 force. Jones out at the plate. Huge play there. And that brings up Stevenson, and now we've got decision time. I tell you what, I'm really on the fence on this one. This is a tough call here. Stevenson's pitched well enough to stay in. I'll throw it out to the group. Any opinions? Pinch hit for Stevenson or let him bat? I could not be more on the fence on this one. I wouldn't even consider pinch hitting except for the fact that he's only a 5-inning starter and he's already pitched 5. I've got 2 to pinch hit. That's good enough. That'll sway the scales. Yeah, if he were a 6 or better on endurance, I would most likely let him bat. But the way I'm thinking is you've already got 5 innings out of what is basically a 5-inning pitcher. That's probably all you're going to get. So Stevenson is called back. Sanders was just about ready anyway. He'll finish his warm-ups out in the pen, and he'll come in. And let's see who the hitter's going to be now against Phil Ortega. They used George Smith in real life, and that's who we're going to use. No, maybe we shouldn't do that. Let's not do that. My bad. Let's use George Thomas. And my reasoning there, yeah, Bill agrees with that. You got 5, be happy. Is that Smith, were Boston to take the lead, you're going to need Smith to come in and play second base for Jones late in the game. So George Thomas will be the batter. First and second, 2 away. Thomas on the season, .218 with a pair of home runs. Ortega checks the runners. Here's the pitch to Thomas. It's a 3-11 right-handed. Base hit into center, an open single. They could try to score on that. Foy rounding, he's an 11-13. Lock -2 in center, 11. They're going to send him. Here's the play at the plate. Lock's throw. He scores. And the game is tied. Foy hustles around. Everyone else advances on the throw. So George Thomas comes through off the bench with a big RBI single. Tie ball game now. Second and third, Enrico Petrocelli coming up. Petrocelli 1 for 3. Ortega a glance at the runners. Here's the pitch on a 3-5 right-handed. Slow roller to short, charging is Brinkman. Gloves it, nice pick, throw to Nan in time. And the side is retired. But the Sox tie it up. 2 runs, 4 hits. They do leave 2 men in scoring position. But it's a brand new ball game as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And for Boston, here comes Ken Sanders. Sanders has worked 11 games. He's 2-0 with a save, 3.77 on the season. Thank you, Bill. An exciting play at the plate was the key to it, of course. 1 through 11. And that could go either way very easily. But with 2 outs, you've got to try. Sanders on now. It'll be the heart of the order for Washington. King, Nen, and Locke. King, singled and walked so far. Sanders pitched to the lefty. Is a 5-7 left-handed double to 9 on a 2. That's going to be over the head of Canigliaro in right. King rounds and steams into second. And the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out. That'll bring up Dick Nen, 1 for 2 today. RBI double back in the first. Sanders gets the sign from Ryan. The pitch is a 6-5 lefty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Nen. That's good stuff, Mike. Yes, it did, Franklin. Here's Locke, who homered his last at bat. Runner in scoring position. Sanders, the windup on the pitch. It's a 6-3 righty. Fly to left field X. That's Yastrzemski. Gold Glover with a 1E6. Ranging to the line on a 3, and he makes an incredible running catch. Oh my goodness, what a play by Yastrzemski. A play only a one-range left fielder could have made. And it's a web jam. That saves a run. So Carl Yastrzemski saved the run with an incredible play in left. And it will be up to Willie Kirkland. Still standing at second, Jim King. Sanders into the windup. 5-11 left-handed. Fly ball into right. Lazy fly ball. Canigliaro drifts under it. And he grabs it to retire the side. So one hit, a double, stranded at second base. It's 2-2 after 6 innings. Ortega will be in his first inning of potential fatigue here in the 7th. And that's about time for me to heat up that last cup of coffee. I'm actually a cut behind today thanks to Mookie, speaking of Mookie. So I went and got the glasses, I stopped and got a Starbucks, went to the grocery store, came home. I set my coffee down on the coffee table while I was putting the groceries in the kitchen. He jumped up on the table and knocked it over, the lid came off. Coffee frickin' everywhere. Yesterday, 2 days ago, he gouged me again. Oh yeah, Mookie. Mookie's on a roll lately. He's a good cat. It's all good. It's going to be Gosker, Yastrzemski, and Scott for Boston in the 7th. Phil Ortega, who looked like he might be running out of gas in the 6th. He surrendered 4 hits last inning. Now in his first endurance inning, into the windup, to pitch to Gosker on a 3-7, fly to straightaway center. That's lock. And he'll haul it down for out number 1. Here's Yaz now. 1 for 3 today. The pitch from Ortega is a 6-6 lefty, a liner right into the glove of Brinkman. That's what he did in his last at-bat, line to short. So 1 for 4, but he could easily be 3 for 4. He's hit it hard 3 times, and here's Scott. Scott 1 for 3. The pitch from Ortega is a 5-7 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Ortega regains control in the 7th, puts the Sox down 1-2-3. We're going to the bottom of the inning. That could be it for Ortega, though, as he's due to bat third here in the bottom of the 7th. As we stretch for the 7th, let's take a look and see if we can find him. I think he's in the bedroom window again, which seems to be his perch of choice lately. Mookie, are you up there in the window? No, he's not. Well, where the hell is he? Oh my goodness. He was looking down on me. Okay, see, there's my chair. He's up there in lighthouse country again. Enjoying the game for your skybox? Uh-huh. He says, yeah, I'm looking for something else to knock over. I don't think Frank is with us today. I was wondering. Yes, Steve, he's already broken 2 things up there and a couple on the other cabinet. Nothing of any significant value, though, fortunately. All that stuff's been put away when he was a kitten and was really crazy. Okay, bottom of the 7th, tie game. It'll be Brinkman, Camille, and the pitcher's spot for Washington. Second inning of work for Ken Sanders. Yes, they do, Franklin. Brinkman 0 for 2. Sanders the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a 6-5 right-handed, and he walks him. It's flat on the table, it counts, and Eddie Brinkman with the leadoff walk. And Red Sox have to be happy to not have Stevenson's +9 hold on the mound right now. Sanders a fine -3, Ryan a 0, so Brinkman a 12 not held. They won't need to hold him. Third at bat for Camille. He squares to bunt. He's a C on a 9, and he gets it. No, he hits into the force play. I'll be darned. Thrown out by the catcher, so he bunted it, little nubber in front of the plate. On it like a cat was Ryan. Fires down to second for the force. And now they'll send up a hitter for Ortega. Seven innings for Ortega. Camille failed to get the bunt down, at least not far enough away from the catcher. Ortega 7 innings, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits allowed, 2 runs, walked just 1, struck out 4. And against Sanders, who else? Frank Howard grabs the bat and steps up to the plate. I'm not sure why Howard wasn't in the lineup, but he's available to pinch hit in my replay, and he's going to be up there. Oh, good. I almost forgot trivia. Fire away, Bill. Yes, Mike, he's in the euchre seats. Good call. He must be in the front row. Howard at 307, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Give me a moment to refresh my screen. Camille at first. I did not see the question, Bill. What happened? Technical error? Technical issues? Try it again. You're not trying to put a link in there, are you? Well, I've had trouble sometimes posting in chat if I'm using a link, but that's the only thing I can think of. I don't think you would be using a link. There it is. And the question is, 2 players in today's starting lineup had either a son or a dad play in the major leagues. Name the 2. As Frank Howard stands in, Sanders checks the runner. From the stretch, the pitch to Big Frank is a 4-7, and he walks him. Second walk issued by Sanders. Down to second goes Camille. Let's see if we can run for Howard. He's a 1 through 8. However, I'm only going to do it if I can find a pitcher who can run, because I don't want to burn a player. So let's look at see if we've got a pitcher running here. If not, any pitcher would be a 1 through 10. Diego Segui will go in there. He's a 1 through 12. So Segui at first, Camille at second, and the batter will be Blasingame. Wow, and we're missing an MVP too. Camille. I did not realize that Doug was the son of Dolph. Oh yeah, I know who Dolph Camille was. Here's Blasingame. Sanders, first and second, 1 out. The windup on the pitch is a 4-6, and he walks the bases loaded. Oh my goodness. That's going to get him stirring again in the Boston pen. As Dennis Bennett, the left-hander, is joined down there by Dan Osinski, the right-hander. Out to the mound goes Ryan. Bob Savarin 0 for 3 on the day. Sanders is going to face him. 6, 8, 14. That's on the cusp. Too tight of a game to take any chances. And as much as I hate to with the bases loaded, Boston's going to have to bring the infield in here. Yes, Perry, exactly. So with the infield in, Savarin will swing away. The pitch from Sanders is a 2-9 righty. It's a ground ball to second base C, and I got to look that up. Sorry about this. Using the super advanced ground ball result, which I'm not as familiar with. Bases loaded in on a C, it's 7. The leading runner is out. So on a grounder to second, Jones has it, fires home, and nails Camille at the plate. That's going to go down as a 4-2 force. Two away. And it's up to King. I'm thinking about this now, thinking it out for both sides. Meeting on the mound, Billy Herman is out there, Ryan's out there, whole infield comes in. They could bring in Bennett, the left-hander. I'm trying to see if they would counter, but the Senators could counter with Fred Valentine. That's tough. If I'm Boston, I'd rather have Sanders face King than Bennett face Valentine, and so that's what we're going to do. Sanders will pitch to King, who's 2 for 3 with a walk. Bases loaded, 2 down. Sanders' pitch on a 5-4 left-hander is a grounder to third base X. Tough chance for Foy. 4E25. Here's the play on a 2, and it's going to be a single, 2 stars, 2 runs will score. Foy can't get to it. Segui scores. Blasingame scores. Savarin all the way to third. 2 big ribbies for King. And the Senators take a 4-2 lead. And that's going to do it for Sanders. They're going to bring in the lefty Dennis Bennett. Such is life, Bill. Such is life. He got a ground ball. You really can't fault Sanders here. However, he's out of the game. Sanders allowed 2 hits, 3 walks. That was really his undoing. Struck out 1. Here comes Bennett to face Dick Nen. Nen 1 for 3 today. Runners at the corners, 2 down. The left-hander winds and deals. 6-8 left-hander. It's a high fly ball to left field. Yastrzemski backing up just shy of the track makes the catch to retire the side. So Nen gave it a ride. As it is, though, it's allowed out to left, inning over. The Senators, however, take the lead with 2 runs on just 1 hit and lead it 4-2. And the Senators will bring in their ace, Ron Klein. Klein pitched in this game in real life. Very close to this score, interestingly enough, at least to this point. Klein 3-0 with 5 saves, 2.55. And let's check the defense for Washington now. Outfield already strong with Kirkland in left and Locke in center. Could bring in Hamlin for Blasingame. He's a 3, but with an E34. I think I'd rather have Blasingame's 4E14 out there. Too many errors on Hamlin. We're going to the 8th in a 4-2 game. Klein on to pitch for Washington. Klein trying to secure his 6th save of the season. Canigliaro, Jones, and Foy due up. Tony 1 for 3 with a home run. Klein gets the sign from Camille now. The pitch on a 1-6 righty struck him out. Canigliaro down on strikes. With 1 out, it's Dalton Jones, who's 2 for 3 today. Klein into the windup. 1-9 right-handed is a high fly ball to right field. That's over King's head. Against the wall. King picks it up, gets it back in as Jones holds with a double, and Dalton Jones 3 for 4 today. That'll get the tying run to the plate. What is going on with this thing? There we go. In the form of Joe Foy. So Foy a chance to redeem himself for being unable to turn that X play. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Foy came into the game the leading hitter on the club and second on the team with 7 home runs. The pitch from Klein is a 1-2 righty ground batter to the pitcher. It's Klein. He has it. Looks the runner back and throws over to Nen for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Ryan. Let's see if they've got anything better. They could hit for Ryan. Let's see who their pitcher is. Bennett with a +1. I'm hesitant to do that because that would put Tillman on his +3 arm behind the plate. So Ryan's going to bat. Klein into the windup. That's going to be a 4-10 right-handed. A grounder to shortstop X. Tough chance for Brinkman as he charges it now. 2E29. It's an 11 E range. It's a 9 on a 29. And he makes a fine play and throws him out. What a play by Eddie Brinkman. 6-3X. Side retired. Runner stranded at second. Thought a bit about batting for Ryan there, but like I say, then you've got a +3 catcher. Even if you score 1, you're still trailing by 1. And now you've given the Senators a license to steal. They'll send up Locke, Kirkland, and Brinkman here. Dennis Bennett will come back out. Throwing behind him is the right-hander Osinski. Nan 1 for 4 today. The left-hander into the windup. It's a 1-7 lefty, double to 6, but on a 16, that's going to be flagged down in left field by Yastrzemski. One down, and here's Kirkland. Kirkland facing a lefty, not much there, but they like his glove out there in left field, so he's going to hit. Bennett's pitch on a 1-9 struck him out. And that'll bring up Brinkman with 2 down. 0 for 2 with a walk. Bennett gets the sign now. Here's the pitch on a 5-11 right-handed. It's a grounder first base X. Tough chance for Scott, a 3E15, and here's the play. On a 15, it's E range. It's a 3 on an E15. This does not look good for Scott. It's going to be an error by George Scott. So E3, first Boston error of the afternoon. Brinkman now, star 15. Bennett with a +1 hold. Ryan 0, 16. Brinkman will be held on at 14. And Doug Camilli will come up. Bennett gets his sign. Check of the runner from the stretch. 4-12 righty. A hard hit ball down to third. Foy, how's this one? Throws over to Scott to retire the side. Eight innings in the books. It is 4-2 Washington. I want to thank everybody for watching today and for a great chat especially. This chat was all over the place today. I just absolutely love it. Went from music to fathers and sons of players and everything in between. Klein needs 3 outs for his 6th save, and Boston will start off the 9th by sending up a pinch hitter for Bennett. And that's going to be the left-handed outfielder, Lenny Green. Here's Green now, hitting just 169 so far. Pretty good card against righties, however, especially in that ones column. Klein into the windup. 3-5 right-handed, struck him out. 1 down. And here's Rico Petrocelli. Or Petrocelli is what we used to call him when I was a kid. Before we knew better. And then even for a while after that, just for fun. Petroselli, 1 for 4. Klein's pitch. 3-7 righty, and he bangs a base hit into center field. That's going to get the tying run to the plate. Rico with his second hit of the day. That'll bring up Gosker. Gosker 0 for 4. Struck out once, flew to center 3 times. Klein out of the stretch now. Pitch to Gosker's a 4-7 left-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Third strikeout for Klein, and it's up to Yastrzemski. And probably no one Boston would rather have at the plate right now, either him or Scott. I like that, Bill. Cool War. Franklin called him pepperoni. Did you stick a feather in your cap first, Franklin, before you called him that? Yastrzemski 1 for 4. Tying run at the plate, 2 down. Klein stares in. The pitch is a 2-5 righty, grounder to first. Nen has it. He takes it to the bag, and the game is over. 4-2. Senators win the series. Take 2 out of 3 for Boston. And that moves them back to 500. I'll have the totals for you in just a moment. I know, that was bad, Bill. Yeah. That's what I get for just saying what pops into my head instead of thinking about it for a second first, right? Klein, the 2-inning save. What did I say? Number 6 for him. Ortega, the winning pitcher, improves to 2 and 3. The loss goes to Sanders. Ken Sanders 2 and 1 now. Both runs charged to him. Bennett in an inning of third gave up nothing and struck out 1. Klein in his 2 innings, 2 hits. No runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. King 3 for 3 with a walk, 2 ribbies. Looks good to me. Plus his 2 ribbies were the game winners. Yep. Definitely. King is the player of the game. Senators, 4 runs, just 5 hits, 1 error. Red Sox, 2 runs on 10 hits. Wow, talking about getting the least out of most. They also made 1 error. Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, Perry. Thank you, Bill, Gerald, everyone. That's your Monday game. That's also a wrap on May the 29th, and that was a Sunday, so that's a wrap on the week, which means, tomorrow, sometime before the game, I will have the stats update. That'll be fun. And then that'll be followed by the Dodgers at the Braves at 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Don Drysdale and Tony Cloninger on the mound. .400 will be on Wednesday. Yes, sirree. Hang on a second. I have physical therapy that day. Let me look at something here while I'm thinking about it. I think I scheduled this appropriately, however. Yeah, that's 11:45 my time, or 10:45 Pacific, so plenty of time. long before game time. That will not interfere with the start time at all. So that's good to know. And with that, thanks everybody once again. I'm going to get out of here. It's about lunchtime for me. I haven't had much to eat today. I don't think I even had any lunch today. Why aren't I hungrier? That's a good question. Oh, I had a donut at the store. That's why. That spoiled my appetite, yeah. It's like Jerry Seinfeld said, well, there'll be another appetite just around the corner, so don't worry. Anyway, on that note, I'm out of here. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow.